Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is a stone that was sent to me by a viewer, and they're very experienced with opal, more experienced than I am, but they don't have the gear for carving, and so they sent it to me. They're saying that it's not a very valuable gem, which is somewhat true, but apparently it means a fair bit, and so I'm going to treat it like it's the most precious gem I've ever handled. So it feels like it's about 4.5 carats. We'll give it an actual weighing here. So, yep, just over 4.6 carats. And you can see it's a really dark stone. So it's got some areas of black opal with this beautiful little color play on it. A wonderful pattern. And you can see here they had a Dremel somewhere with just the generic bits that it came with, so I'm guessing there was a diamond ball burr or something, and they've just kind of chiseled around the outside of the color just to see if they could find any more. They've shown me some other stones that came from this area right near this stone, and they came through amazingly. Some have pretty uneven color bars though, so it looks like they were trying to see whether this one links to there. And if you look just there, I reckon they're right on top of the color, so there's still a little bit of hope here. I'm going to give it as good a shot as possible. I've got the bits, the Nova bits, that will help us along. And I'll probably just do a little bit of tizzying up with the highest grit sintered diamond burr that I've got. But apart from that, we're just going to try to kind of smoothen this out. We want some less aggressive curves. We want to retain this beautiful pattern here. So I'm going to try my best not to touch it at all, because I've already got a nice polish on it. But it's this cut in mark here. We're going to see if we can get that color to meet that color, which it looks like it's trying. If I quickly dunk it in some water that I've got on the bench here, you can see how that colors, they're just not quite meeting. And I don't know if I can get them to, but there's just a little smattering. And when I look on the back, it's a really interesting stone. So it's just got patches of color everywhere. It's got red over here, red over here, red over here. Anywhere this grey potch isn't, or this clump of sand, anywhere that grey potch isn't, there's colour. So I've still got high hopes, and we're just going to tidy it up and see what we can get out of it. So let's get the bits out and let's see if we can help them. Well, we've had a little bit of a play with the sintered diamond. I've chucked the macro lens adapter on my phone to have a really close look, because what I did is I've looked at this under the 30 times and 60 times magnification loupe just to get a real close look, just to see if there was anything I was missing, but the naked eye kind of said it all, and there's just not a lot of colour coming through. So what I focused on mainly was just neatening some lines rather than having this weird ball burr kind of digging in patches. So it's going to round off a little bit more with the Nova burrs that I'm going to get in here. There is definitely I mean, if this was my stone, I still wouldn't go for it. But there is definitely a second colour bar under this grey, under this really nice patchy colour here. There's just no guarantee that it'd come through, but on this edge you see it in particular. See that wavy black? And there's that colour just there. If I could get it really well in focused and really well lit, you can see that there's actually colour under all of that grey. And I'm sure there's at least one other colour bar, but I think it's this one here. And it's a little bit of a smattering, so it's a little bit potchy for my liking. And looking at this beautiful top here, there's no way we could sacrifice that and carve down to that second colour bar. You'd have to be insane. So I'm not going to go for it, but I am going to neaten up all of these edges. We've revealed a little bit more around this bottom edge over here. This is that colour bar that I'm talking about. That's definitely the second colour bar, so it is a little bit potchy. I did sweep over it at one point with the sintered diamond, but I think it is really just too thin for me to dig down on, because I wanted to bring this and even it out a little bit more, but we're not going to manage. So no more of the sintered diamond. You can see that it's drying off now, and you can see exactly where I've hit the stone, avoided this section entirely. And yeah, just basically it was too shallow, it was too deep, some of these bits in here, and it was too sharp edged, so I rounded those off a little bit as well. And now that you can see it drying, you can see exactly where I need to hit with the novas. So we'll get it with the novas. And yeah, unfortunate that I couldn't reveal an absolute killer stone underneath. I know there's a second colour bar there, but we just can't go for it. I mean, look at this beautiful stone. Reds, blues, greens, even some purples, magenta in there. It's quite lovely, and look at the pattern. And it definitely plays around as well. So really, it's got a bit of everything. I even love this second color bar over here. That's just definitely underneath this top one, but the top one's just so much better. It's unfortunate that this didn't cover the whole stone. I don't know what it looked like in the rough, but I'm guessing it was just patchy. So yeah, you can see it now, all that fogged area, nova tips. So I'll just dive straight in and we'll get this thing polished up and see what it looks like at the end. What is going on with my phone? The camera just cut out for an entire second part of me rubbing it back with the Nova, and it's really annoying because look at this, I found more colour. So this is where they dug in pretty deep, and there wasn't much there. But you can see now that there is definitely a second colour bar, but it's nowhere near as good as this. So I'm definitely 100% keeping this now. We've just revealed enough to not affect that top one at all, because it's just got that beautiful, beautiful colour. I've just rounded that kind of edge there to make it a little bit neater looking, rather than how it was all jagged before. Here you can see that there's potch and a little bit of colour. I thought I could get rid of it, but it just wouldn't clear up. And then really disappointingly, I found more colour over here. We'll keep it wet. Found more colour over here, which is really clean, really vibrant, but look at this damn potch. I mean, it's better than sand, but I just can't quite get rid of it, and I've looked at it under magnification and I can't be confident that it's going to go. So I'm going to have to leave it at that. But look, the colour, it's definitely there. It's just got lines of potch going through it. Small little clouds. How annoying. But I think this is pretty much what it's going to end up looking like. If it was my stone, I would probably go and trim all the way around here. And I can see a bit of a pear-shaped over here and possibly a wire wrap where the wire comes down here and then hugs this colourful part, covering up this little bit of potch that I can't really get to without causing a right angle cut. Wrapping it around here, and then going back up. I'm sure someone with massive skills in wire wrapping could do that. I can only kind of imagine that it can be done. But I know someone with skill could do it, so I reckon that might be what I'd try to do with this piece. But all in all, you can see that I've just made it so that that ball burr cut in has been taken away and it's rounded out a bit more. The Black Nova's done a good job. I love these little Novas. These little Novas, I mean, I couldn't do this job with the big Novas. And talking to the suppliers, the little Novas actually sell way more than the big ones. And I can see why now. You can use the little ones on anything. You can get into tiny gaps and stuff, whereas the big ones, I couldn't have done this with those big ones. So the little ones are amazing. I'm gonna have to stock up on those and make sure you guys can get them as well, because they are quite good. Oh, that's so disappointing. Look. Oh, I wish I could just get my fingernail and just scrape that little bit of potch off. That face almost continues. Very unfortunate. But I'll be going over it now with the brown, and then after the brown it won't change much, but maybe, just maybe, the brown might reveal a little bit more. I'm not sure. But we've got to be careful now because some of this looks pretty thin, and we just want to get it nicely polished as is now. And then I'll send it off, and hopefully they can do something with it. Maybe change the shape of it a bit. And yeah, it's not the worst stone in the world. It's a little bit better than it was at the start, but nowhere near as good as I was hoping to get it. Oh well, we'll keep going and we'll see if we can shine it up a little bit better. And here we are at the final piece. Not too bad. I retained this front face completely, just made the burr cut-ins, I've just fingerprinted the hell out of it. Just made the burr cut-ins a little bit more symmetrical. You can see here that I found this second colour bar. I'm sure it does dive in underneath, but look at that colour bar, look at this colour bar. I know which one I like more. This colour here actually has this really nice feature. Not only of that rolling red, but there's a certain angle where I can get a bit of purple that just shoots right across the surface. It's subtle, there it is, that's where it starts. Purple is just so unusual to see like this. But you know what? This second colour bar, it actually polished up quite well. Unfortunately, this potchy side over here is still really annoying me. I mean, look at that. There's so much potential in there, but this potch just did not clear out. Just refused to clear out, and I couldn't get rid of this wonderful colour and pattern over here, so very unfortunate. I would have ended up digging all the way through to that second colour bar by the time I got rid of that face, I reckon. That's, yeah. It's just a bit of a wavy potch. I thought I could almost get through here, but see, on that angle you can see that there's this centre section of potch that goes right in. At first I thought it was clearing up, but there's still that deep section in there. Because it's someone else's stone, I studied it over and over again with the loop, so yeah, really wanted to get the best out of it. Unfortunately, it's not that great, but I think it's a huge improvement on where it was. And yeah, I'm just disappointed that this part over here didn't clear up, this part over here didn't clear up. Found a second colour bar, but it wasn't a showstopper. And yeah, I just couldn't get rid of this. That part that was already pre-polished, that was the highlight of this stone, and I couldn't touch it. So I didn't touch it until I got to the higher grit Novas, and then gave it a rebuff and polish. And yeah, spent quite a long time on the polish, just because look at this light. That gives you an indication of how uneven it is over in this section here, where they'd already drilled in pretty deep with the ball burr, with that diamond bit. And to get a polish on that kind of uneven surfaces, it does take a while. It takes a while with the Novas, and if you do a really good job with the Novas, the polishing actually doesn't take that long at all with the cerium or whatever polishing compound you're using. So yeah, all in all, I'm a huge fan of this stone. It grew on me as I cut. It took a long time, but I reckon it's come up alright. I still think it's a beautiful piece for some sort of wire wrap, where the wire wraps around this section here, covers that potch line, but shows off that second colour bar, this top beautiful section of stone. I'd still probably trim up the edges. The owner of the stone can do that if they want, just trim up along here, along here, along here, change the shape. I see a nice little teardrop in there, and yeah, I'm sure they'll come up with something creative. It's a fairly creative stone on its own, so it demands some sort of creativity to be able to set it. So yeah, not too bad. Had a lot of fun, and as long as we're having fun, it's perfectly fine. I don't have anything planned for the next video, but I will just... I mean, I'm not short on anything, so I'll find something and we'll get it going. Been spending my lunchtimes posting all of these Nova tips and sintered diamonds, restocking them all the time. And yeah, it's insane how many people actually want them. I sent parcels to like 4 or 5 different countries today. So let's hope the postal system doesn't let us down and everyone gets everything real quick. And we'll keep it going. We will keep it going. So yeah, I'll find another stone and we'll get to cutting. See you in the next one.